let's have another look at a post on the Eternity site in Korea. So, Final Dance in Eternity. I think some of you might have noticed it as you saw the image. The subject of this development log is the Xanafiedlion, so the final boss of Gen 1 in Albi Dungeon in Ternanag. So, production background, Mabinogi is a project that has grown together with our militians for a very long time. As a game that has been in service for a long time, there have been many big and small changes in Eren. I think the part where you can feel the biggest change is combat. Accordingly, there is a significant difference in battle experience between past boss monsters and new boss monsters. Examples include the Xanafiedlion from Gen 1, Final Chapter, and Myr from the Brelith. So here you can see like the Xanafiedlion, and you can see the other boss that they're talking about. In Eternity, past boss monsters that appeared in the mainstream have been transformed to fit the latest Mabinogi battle grammar. We aim to provide battle content of a quality that will satisfy all militians. And this work began with the first boss monster that militians encounter after arriving in Eren, the Incarnation of Destruction, Xanafiedlion. So there's a cool image of him there. Battle formation. As a boss appearing in the mainstream, Xanafiedlion has many attractive settings. When reimagining the battle of Xanafiedlion in Eternity, the first thing that came to mind was to incorporate these settings into the battle. Xanafiedlion first encountered in the mainstream is summoned by Keyhole's plan. So here you can see like a mana ritual and the mana ritual gauge. So the main concept of Eternity Xanafiedlion battle is consciousness suppression. The militians arrived earlier than expected and had to wake the Xanafiedlion in an incomplete state during the ceremony. The militians' first objective is to fight this imperfect Xanafiedlion and stop the mana ritual in progress during the fight. So you want to stop that gauge before it fills up. And it looks like you can see that they're doing something with the gargoyle statues there. So those are actually going to be a part of it now. I tried to incorporate the settings into the background as well. Did you know that Xanafiedlion loves gold? The boss room, which serves as the battle stage, was designed to feel like gold, ore, and a ritual altar. So it looks like this is going to be the boss room. It's completely different now. It doesn't have that square shape anymore. It's more of a circle. And the gargoyle statues actually do something in the boss fight. So that's pretty cool. And they have that interesting design on the floor. And down here you can see the old boss room, what that looks like, the square shape with the gargoyle statues. So this looks a lot better. The gargoyle statues placed in Albi Dungeon boss room also have a role. In Eternity, it is deployed as a device to conduct the rituals and is used as an in-game gimmick. At this point, you will also be able to understand the purpose of the black beads. So yeah, this is what it looks like now, and the gargoyles don't really have a purpose. And this is what the gargoyle statues look like in Eternity. After struggling to stop the mana ritual and fighting the incomplete Xanafiedlion, you will enter Phase 2. Here too, we wanted to provide a new way of having fun in Eternity rather than simply moving the map and changing phases. You remember the beam firing pattern of the Gen 1 Xanafiedlion? So here they show off that move. Oh, and this is what it looks like in Eternity. Wow, that looks way better. After putting Eternity's imperfect Xanafiedlion in danger, it unleashes a powerful beam attack. In order to utilize the existing Xanafiedlion symbol pattern more dramatically in Eternity, I added several dramatic devices to compose the pattern. In this process, the Militians each created a battle flow that allowed them to respond to the patterns in different ways and disrupt them. So it looks like that's sort of like a interaction key, maybe pressing like the space bar, I think it says space, and you can like stop the attack. It's kind of cool. Camera work that blends in with patterns that were not easily attempted in live performances, cutscenes that naturally transition to phases after performing gimmicks, etc. We are exploring and trying out various methods to ensure that you can enjoy not only the combat gameplay, but also the visual presentation. I think this visual presentation looks great. This is a big upgrade from this. Like, if you compare these two images, you can clearly see the difference. This looks way more modern and way better. In Phase 2, you will battle Xanafiedlion, the reincarnation of destruction, who has regained his power through a mana ritual. There is a change in appearance as it awakens once to match the concept. In addition to the character mesh of Xanafiedlion, you can see an even more powerful appearance in-game with effects attached to the area around the Xanafiedlion's body. So, Xanafiedlion, the Incarnation of Destruction, original artwork. This is his original artwork. And then in-game, Xanafiedlion, the Incarnation of Destruction. So, yeah, this looks pretty cool. There's some amazing artwork here. Personally, I think it was cool when the bandages came off and the mask was torn, revealing what was hidden. Yeah, you can kind of see his eye right there. As he awakened as the Incarnation of Destruction, Phase 2 will proceed with the concept of burning everything. And they have a cool, like, portrait image here. And you can see all the houses and stuff burning. Seeing most of the fields on fire really gives you a feeling of fighting the very embodiment of destruction. We are also preparing boss patterns that we have not been able to introduce to you so that you can feel the setting of the boss monsters. We will do our best to ensure that you can experience authentic, immersive battles through Eternity, combining Mabinogi's uniquely engaging narrative and combat gameplay. So share your concerns. In addition to new combat content, Eternity is also preparing many combat-related improvements. Let me first introduce you to a few changes that were first applied to the Xanafiedlion. the Battle of Xanafiedlion. First, there is a monster rotation. In Mabinogi, you can see the monsters bouncing around when they change direction. In Eternity, we've improved the way characters rotate directly to a different direction when their movement direction changes, making it look more natural. Okay, so we actually have two videos here. So this is what looks on Pleon Engine right now. Let's take a look at that. And this is what it will look like in Eternity. And that does look a lot better, so this will give you an idea of what to expect. Here, I'll play this one again. Secondly, there is the monster gaze. We also added an expression that guides it to the direction in which the boss is looking. I tried to structure the battles to make them feel more tense and threatening. It would be nice if this boss actually felt like a challenge again, instead of just like one-shotting him, because like that's what most can do. Like most can solo him and take him down in like 1 or 2 hits. In addition to this, we are considering various technical changes that can be incorporated into battles, and we will introduce them when the time comes. These technical changes are definitely something that can be done if possible. I think militians will definitely like it. The biggest concern is the change in planning. The skills shown in the Eternity test demonstration video revealed at the 2025 Summer Fantasy Party, as well as the common evasion skills, can be viewed with similar concerns. The same goes for convenience in battle, such as how about adding a ping system to Mabinogi, or how about a system where skills on a cooldown are shared in the party chat. Among these, the most difficult concern is the direction of the battle. How difficult should Mabinogi's combat content become? Would action-packed battles suit you better, or would a battle focused on cooperative gimmicks be more appropriate? What if we considered the combat designs that allowed for different contributions within a party without fixing the roles of tank, damage, dealer, and healer? Eternity is a project that aims to become a game that can bring together all militians who love Mabinogi. As mentioned above, we are looking back at the fundamental concerns and building up a solid foundation. So yeah, I think they're doing a really good job thinking about everything. I would personally like to see some more challenge in Mabinogi. I feel like a lot of the older dungeons and a lot of the older bosses just really aren't a challenge anymore, and that's kind of a problem. Like, the Glass Scavellin can be taken down solo in like 2 or 3 hits when you first start playing the game, and when you get to him, it's kind of ridiculous. And like the Armored Bear boss in one of the dungeons, like, he actually used to be a challenge 8 or 10 years ago, and now he's not. But this gives you an idea of what to expect for future boss fights in Eternity. Let's take another look at the Korean Eternity site. I need a boss room. A new boss room was revealed during this test. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, I'd like to talk about the process of creating it. Albi Dungeon and boss room with Glass Scavellin. There's the boss up there and the gargoyle statues. This new boss room is conceptually closely related to the Albi Dungeon and Glass Scavellin. So at the design stage, we tried to mix these two things. So you can see the different looks for the boss room that they have planned. It's going to be more round instead of square. It's going to be more of a circle. The overall concept was created by borrowing the gorgeous pillar design of Albi Dungeon, the design of the waterway flowing through the corridor wall, and the unique steel frame design of the boss room where Glass Scavellin appears, and creating a blueprint for what direction would be right. Of course, there were other things to consider besides these concepts. This boss room is divided into 2 phases, and in phase 2 the surrounding area had to collapse and disappear, so the design of the surrounding area had to be arranged with things that could move fluidly. and yet we had to fill in this large space. So it looks like this is probably going to be stage 1 with the gargoyle statues, because there's like a new mechanic for stopping the Xanafiedlion ritual involving the gargoyle statues that's talked about in the other post. So boss room, and entrance zone to go to the boss room. So this is really cool. You can kind of see like this is maybe an average room in an Albi dungeon. So the rooms won't always be square anymore, they can be more circular. And then there's a long hallway, and then like an entrance to a door, and then that leads into the boss room. So this is really cool looking. Although not actually deployed, the background was created to be divided into a maintenance area, a hallway, and re-entry zone. But doesn't the door to the re-entry zone resemble something? So yeah, it does look like the door that you find in Bangor Dungeon when you go to, in Berry Dungeon when you go to Turnanag. As you may have noticed, the door to the re-entry zone was built to have some connection to the door to Turnanag. Through this space you can meet the boss Xanafiedlion. So entrance seen from the front, this looks pretty cool. You can see some broken pillars here, and you can see like the big boss door with the chains on it. So how should our Xanafiedlion change as he enters this dungeon? As you know, Xanafiedlion has already been reborn and applied in 2 new forms in live performance. The writing had to have a different design from the existing friends. So here we can see 2 images. These look pretty cool. Completed Xanafiedlion on the left and Ultimate Xanafiedlion on the right. I'm guessing this one is the left image and this one's the right. They're not really right next to each other. In this boss room, Xanafiedlion will change in phase 2. Oh, that one looks really cool. You can see how his mask is completely gone and you can see both his eyes. The original drawings for phase 2 of the script that were created in this way are as follows. So it looks like this is what they're going to go with for phase 2. Phase 2 original artwork. This dungeon was only revealed during this test, but you will be able to freely visit it after it opens. Here Militians will encounter the newly renovated Xanafiedlion and experience a new combat experience. So yeah, this looks pretty awesome. They're making a lot of changes to the way the final boss of Gen 1 works. So maybe he'll finally be a challenge again. Let's look at another Korean Eternity post about interactions with NPCs. So, because the live service has been ongoing for so long, it is not easy to consistently and meticulously manage every line of dialogue for so many characters. Sometimes a character's personality or speech pattern has changed over time, even passing through multiple writers. At the time of the update, lines that were consistently recognizable and amusing were now difficult to understand. There are more lines than you might expect that are out of date or contain memes that were popular only during a specific period. Unfortunately, there are some instances where dialogue itself contains errors. I wanted to see a variety of interactions for each keyword pressed, but some characters didn't have as many lines as I expected. If character A reacts to 20 keywords, it's natural to expect 20 reactions from the character B. Some characters have lots of lines, while others only respond to unknown keywords or even randomly output no lines at all for a single word, for a single keyword. It was always disappointing that some characters enjoyed the fun of discovering hidden reactions when certain conditions were met, while others didn't. I still remember the promise I made when I first established Melwyn in Dumbarton. Let's make her feel like a truly living character by adding various reactions based on the events she's experienced in Erin, the passage of time, and the circumstances and conditions of the Militians. I want richer interactions with my favorite and cherished NPCs. But do you know how many permanent NPCs are in Erin? People who welcome us all year round. Yeah, there are a lot of them. You can see that just by looking at the continent of Ulad, there are over 100 permanent NPCs welcoming the Militians. So how many travel journal keywords can we use to talk about one person? Recently, I've been trying to respond to around 30 keywords. Furthermore, I've been able to trigger multiple responses to a single keyword. And you only need to write lines for 100 people and 30 keywords and number of variations. It's not as easy as you think. I remember talking about how difficult it was to write over 100 gift lines during an NDC presentation. While it might be fine if you were writing lines for just 1 or 2 characters, writing lines for 100 characters to respond to the loot keyword eventually leads to limitations. Yeah, I mean, they're basically saying, like, there's so many responses to just one keyword in our journals, and there are lots of keywords, and since we have so many characters, it is a lot more difficult than it looks. Maintaining this daunting task during a live broadcast is even more challenging. Working on everything at once would be physically time-consuming. Dialogue requires meticulous thought and careful consideration, requiring meticulous repeated review. However, it's not possible to assign specific roles to certain individuals while others remain unrelated, because every NPC is someone's most precious and beloved. So yeah, I like how they're making every character, they're trying to make every NPC feel unique or different, so they're not just like copies of each other. Sometimes a line of dialogue is so long that it makes you suffocate, and now there's a chance to end the agony of wanting to just press enter. Above all, I was able to solidify this decision through discussions with fellow developers within the development team. Honestly, I just wanted to have more conversations with all the NPCs. I love the process of enjoying conversations with characters, getting to know the world of Erin better, and naturally blending in. Yeah, I think doing that will make the game feel more alive if each NPC is, like, unique and has their own thoughts on things. It's very fun to go talking to, like, NPCs about different topics and, like, hearing what their opinion is on things. Like, I like to ask NPCs what their opinions are on Dark Knights, if any of them even know anything at all. And it's interesting to get, like, all the different answers for that. So we've decided to completely rewrite all the characters' dialogue. We're enriching it by applying multiple variations to single keywords, ensuring even the most recent characters have the same amount of dialogue as those updated more recently. Beyond just the length, we're also applying common conventions to the overall dialogue text, making each page of dialogue much more readable. But as I was rewriting dialogue, I realized that the keywords in our travel journal also needed to be organized. There are some differences between how keywords are used in the travel journal now and in the past. In the past, keywords were typically obtained briefly during specific quests, used in conversations, and then later retrieved. Due to the structure of the live, it wasn't easy to track where each keyword was acquired and removed. Furthermore, in the past, quests, skills, and hints could only be acquired through these keyword conversations. With the numerous reorganization of growth paths and related content, these keywords are no longer used, but remain in the travel journal. So here you can see what the travel journal will look like in Eternity, and it looks like this is what they're going with for the interface for now. You can see the little menu down here on the UI. In Eternity, we're also renewing all the keywords you can use in conversation. We've redesigned a generous pool of keywords that NPCs respond to, and reorganized them so that pressing those keywords will yield interesting stories from anyone. We've also redesigned the timing for acquiring keywords, ensuring that no keyword can be lost if you miss a certain time. We are also refining the description of characters' appearances, which is unique to Mabinogi and introduced in a lyrical style as soon as the conversation begins. When it comes to character descriptions, some characters have very sensuous and rich introductions, while others are often overly brief. We're refining and selecting words that best capture the character's characteristics and personality, and we're working to ensure all sentences are of similar length. Of course, if we've used expressions that truly fit a character in the existing text, we're working to maintain the original text as much as possible while refining them. We're working hard to create a variety of conversations with these characters, but we need a more immersive device. Mabinogi's diverse characters all have detailed settings. It's a shame that we're the only ones who see these settings as mere planning documents. While organizing simple comments for each character in the 20th anniversary art book, I felt that it would be best to check in these things in game. So yeah, this looks pretty cool. I like the idea of keeping all the characters in Mabinogi unique and Aaron unique. It's nice to have lengthy conversations about certain topics with certain NPCs in the game. And I definitely don't want to feel like any NPC is useless. The NPCs that are the most interesting are the ones that have, like, personality. Alright, let's play some Mabinogi today. So let's start out with some homestead work. And mine for some homestead stone. Yeah, let's put down a bunch of strawberries. Why not? Okay, we're out of those. What about tomatoes? All right. And what kind of shadow missions do we have today? Battle for Tilton 2. I'll do that. Enemy behind. Eh. Let's go ahead and switch to Dark Diviner. And we'll start by getting Battle for Tilton 2 done. Do I have any Shadow Mission passes? I don't think I do. And we got 3 extra near tight, so later today we'll do 5 runs for tech missions. And yeah, we're gonna start with Battle for Tilton 2, Veteran Dungeon, and then techs probably. Oh, here's a Shadow Mission pass. We'll use this one. Elite. Whoops. I shouldn't have gotten so close to the barrier. I'm gonna do a rebirth thing, man. Oh, probably at some point today. 3.5 hours. Alright, time for the boss. Gem powder, spirit gems. Wait, I have 2 passes left, right? At least that's what it said when I went to the board. Yeah, 2. Let's do this. I don't actually really need Dark Diviner for a shadow mission like this. So let's switch over to Forbidden Alchemist so we can get some more levels on that. And then we'll use the Forgetful Potion to reset my level to 1. How many of those do I have left? Alright. I'll pull out the good Shadow Crystal. We'll pull out Nightmare Shadow Crystal. Get a little bit more XP and rewards. So I'll take 2 of those. I've been saving these for a while. Put the rest back in here. And let's use time shift for Meteor. Sorry about that. A little bit of a cough snuck up on me, I guess. Alright, let's do that mission one more time. Use that shadow crystal again. Alright, and we're done here. Let's switch to Arsenal Gunner and do the Veteran Dungeon next. So Arsenal Gunner stuff. Let's go find out what the Veteran Dungeon is. Field Dungeon. What's the normal one?
하고 한숨 돌리고 이랬으면
Rabby Dungeon. Alright, let's clear this Veteran Dungeon. Alright, time for the boss. Let's get rid of these swords first. And meteor. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 times. Got him. I didn't mean to use the spirit weapon attack, I actually meant to use Crisis Escape. But sure, that works too. And he's down in 20 minutes and 11 seconds. Unlimited Veteran Foamer Pass. So we'll use that to do Rabby Dungeon, because we have that for the normal daily. I don't know if Rabby Phantasm would count. Like if clearing that would count for like the normal daily dungeon quest. I'm assuming it wouldn't. How many mana bullets do I have left? Oh, plenty. Alright. Yeah, let's go clear the other one. Clean out my inventory a little bit too. Got a bunch of crap in here that I don't need. Then let's sell some stuff. I don't need this. That doesn't sell for very much, but it's better than just throwing it away. Where's my smoldering thread at anyway? I have frost flame up here. Which bag is that in? Oh, it is in that one? Oh, there it is. I'm as blind as a bat. Alright, let's go clear Abbey Dungeon. On veteran mode. And boss time. So let's get her with the tracking. Freeze. That's interesting that my doppelgangers don't have the lava cat robe on. 18 minutes and 17 seconds. That awakened strength crystal thing. Alright, well we have over 1 million now. So we're going to switch to Dark Diviner and do some techs. Because I have 5 near tight. I have one here, and then 3 of these. And what tech skill do I want to work on? I got Defiance up to level 10. I need more crystals of discipline, so we can get those. How many of the, we're gonna need, after that rank, we're gonna need the glorious crystals of discipline. So how many of those do we have? Got like 100 here. Okay. So we have a lot of them. Oh, but these red ones, these virtuous crystals of achievement, these 3 expire in 4 days. And 8 hours? No, I think I'll focus on the red skills first. So I want to focus on the Iron Will and the Zone of Renewal. I need to get some workbenches on my homestead to do to get that Fate Weaver thing. That's the last requirement. What does it take to craft a workbench? Let's take a look at that. So we can learn that skill. Okay, let's go to my homestead real quick. So one of those workbenches... Magic cauldron, what can we do with that? Oh, we can do like magic craft stuff here on our homestead instead of going all the way to the nature reserve. Wait, what kind of workbench? Does it mean like a carpentry one or a another kind? For Fate Weaver. It just says workbenches, so I guess it would count. Well, that's something I'll check out on the wiki later. So I can get the specific details about that. But today, let's focus on Zone of Renewal or Iron Will. I'm not sure which one I want to level up more, but maybe Iron Will be good because that prevents me from being knocked down like at all. And if we can level that up, that'll be helpful for like boss rooms and stuff in veteran dungeons where there are like bosses that can knock me down. Hold these up. Almost have 30,000 con. I can plant like 3 more things. We'll plant some of these right over here. And that's all the homestead stone I have for now. Getting closer. At level 14 I'll actually get the final like free expansion. And then I'm gonna start an herb garden here for Xanafiedlion. But let's switch to Dark Diviner. And we're gonna do some techs. Get more gold. Hey, someone got their 20th Grandmaster talent. That's nice. Takes a long time to do. So I have 5 Near Titan total, so that's how many I'm gonna use. We're gonna do 5 runs today. Alright, let's go. The ice fishing event? I think the ice fishing event's alright. I like it more as a giant because I can create holes in the ice without needing those L-rods. So it's kind of nice having that ability. Alright, that's all the near-tight that I can use here, so we are done with this. Oh, and adventure seals. So let's take a look at Iron Will here. So I still need 30 more of those crystals of achievement. And I can get those from these boxes. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, so I'll take all 6 boxes. Let's level that up. And I think I have enough to get it all the way to level 10. Alright, it's maxed out. Good thing I had a lot of those good crystals from 7 to 10 there. And then I'll focus on Zone of Renewal next, so that'll be next week or whatever. And then after that I'll focus on the Phantasmal Site. So, Iron Will now lasts 3 full minutes. Pretty good. And how much do we have in checks? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 330, 490, 680, I think around 840. Okay, so we'll deposit all those and take out about 800k. And then let's go process those frost flame threads. So we'll switch to Arsenal Gunner and go to the association room. We have 1,900,000. Oh wait a minute, I still have some stuff to sell, so I'll bet I can make a little bit more. Yeah, we can make 50k off that. Anything else of value? Not really looking, but I think that's about it. Let's go ahead and sell this. And I think I can make about 13 ice scorched crests. So 7 more. It's gonna cost like 750k. And we have 4 days. So yeah, I think I can get the rest of the gold I need for that on like Tuesday. Should be fine. And we have like a week on that smoldering thread. Can get that processed anytime, not a big deal. How much smoldering thread do I need? Like how many crests? Oh wow, we need a lot more of those. That's okay, that's the easy one. Let's send some pets on a mission. Yeah, you can go too. I don't really summon those pets very much, so I'll send them out. long is it gonna take? A little over an hour. Well, I think the bear ran out of some time. Oh, how much does the lazy purling figure go for? Let's find out. Homestead lazy purling figure. Not sure how much that's worth. Okay, it's only worth about 1 mil. I think I'll probably hang on to it then. Because it's not worth that much. Alright, and let's get set up fishing at Reese River. There isn't too much else to really work on right now. Like, I could do a little bit of commerce or Stardust or something like that, but I just don't really feel like it. There's that other fishing bait. Here we go. Yeah, one of my favorite parts about this fishing event is in the past, because I did this event the first time it came out, so in the past first like 3 or 4 times I had to use L rods out here because I was like a human or a elf or whatever. Like my non-streaming character did the event, Xanafiedlion did. But a giant can just do this. That's pretty cool. Alright, and we are going to wrap up the stream right around here, because watching me fish all day would probably be pretty boring. So, I know these past few Mabby streams have been a little short, but that's just the way it goes. So, I don't know, there's Grandmaster stuff that I want to do. I'm putting off doing more Stardust because it's annoying and all that. But right now we're working on like tech stuff. I need to get back to like commerce, Grandmaster stuff, and Stardust. So we'll do that eventually. So the next Mabby stream will be on Tuesday.